right in, and my jaw dropped. It was so stunning and gorgeous, and that's when the concierge said in a deep voice, "Welcome to the Willard Hotel." And I've been hooked ever since. But you know, the great ambiance is just the first hook of this great place. What really gets me is the history. Every president since Franklin Pierce has set foot in this hotel. And then you have the artistic greats, you know, the Mark Twains that have been guests. I love it, but I want to narrow down to 3 stories here because they really show, I think, the fantastic history and the historical hub that the Willard really is, and they make 3 great figures in our nation more accessible. All right, story number 1, it's the Civil War era. And Abraham Lincoln just started his first term. Now, Lincoln regularly hosted his staff meetings at the Willard Hotel lobby. Now, I want to pull back for a second and just check out his career. I naively, for years, have assumed that his great stature, started great, that he started with a singular level of success. But he really started out, right, like many leaders do, and that's with constant conversations with the team. And that's why I'm so taken with the simple scene of him having those staff meetings that makes him more relatable as a leader to me. It's a great reminder, too, that, hey, greatness often starts with teams behind the scenes, right? Which gets us to story number 2. Now, it's still the Civil War era, so stay with me there. And the wonderful poet, Julia Howe, has just met Lincoln himself. When she's a guest at the Willard, she is so motivated, so inspired by meeting him that in one night she wrote a patriotic hymn. Now, I tell you what, have you have in your memory the battle hymn of the Republic? It's glory, glory, hallelujah. It's often performed at presidential inaugurations, and it has been for 100 years. Julia is a great reminder that, hey, greatness often starts when we act on inspiration, like she acted when she met that great president. All right, which gets us years further. It's our final story, and it's the Civil Rights March on Washington, the day before, actually. Dr. King is in town. The expectations are at a fever pitch, and the next day, he delivers that I Have a Dream speech, but the night before, right then, his dream speech still needs work. And that just takes me back right there. I can hardly believe it, because I've grown up, I have to admit, thinking that that speech started out perfectly complete. It has never occurred to me that the poetic power of Dr. King could ever be in rough draft form, but he knew it needed work, and he went to his room at the Willard Hotel and perfected that miracle of a speech. King gives a great reminder, doesn't he, that even great thinkers build from imperfection. And I think of King and Lincoln and Howe, and I'm stunned by their simple diligence. And I wonder if diligence is the great teacher for us here. We've seen that the greatness and the grandness can simply start with humble beginnings and simple diligence. And even my cherished Willard Hotel started years ago, small, with a dirt courtyard where pigs and dogs hung around. Simple diligence is a part of great achievement, which brings our DC Ignite community to mind. We didn't start with the 10 great events that we're celebrating tonight, did we? We started with one, with hope for more. Together, we've convened thousands in this room. Together, we've celebrated 130 talks from this stage. And together, I cannot wait for the greatness yet to come.